Hey guys, welcome back to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So today we're back with a Draven supplementary guide, and we just covered Draven's complete guide just yesterday, so I'm not going to spend too much time talking about the build. If you guys want a little bit more in-depth explanation on that, check out yesterday's video. I will also put it up in the cards above in case you guys are watching it in the future and you can't really find the video. But let's jump straight into talking about the loadout and what's different. Basically, there's only really one change here, which is going to be basically replacing Magnetic Blaster with Slurry Charge Blade. I'm going to explain why. So before we do that, we're going to just briefly talk about the build. Of course, we're going to start off with the Gluttonous Greaves for the AD as well as the Omnivamp. Going into the Dust Blade. Now this is only really good if you're snowballing, or even if you are like behind, like if you're 0-2, then I would skip the Dust Blade and go straight into Bloodthirster. So Bloodthirster of course gives you the AD as well as the physical Vamp and additional stats when you're high on health. Really goal efficient item and just really strong first item. And then we go into our attack speed item, which in this case is going to be Charge Blade. Now with Charge Blade versus Magnetic Blaster, the main benefit you get from Charge Blade over Magnetic Blaster is the fact that you're gonna do, well, a little bit more damage. Firstly, because you are gonna be able to get the Charge Blade stacks very easily when you spam like your W or when you use your spells. But secondly, the main big advantage you get here is getting the mixed damage. So Charge Blade, aside from giving you extra damage, gives you magic damage. So in certain team comps where you want to inject a little bit more magic damage into your damage profile, Charge Blade becomes very useful. But overall, I still think that Blaster is generally better because the extra range and utility you get from the range is just really strong, which is why I think that's the default build for Draven, and this is kind of like an alternative build. So of course, after you complete your Charge Blade, you're gonna get your IE as well as your Wall Reminder. Don't need to talk too much about this one. And for the runes, it's completely the same. You're going to go for Kraken Slayer, really strong early game rune, brutal because you auto attack a lot. Giant Slayer, most efficient damage rune in this slot. Alacrity for just a little bit more attack speed, as well as your Bone Plating, to have a little bit more defensive capabilities in lane as well as later on in the game. And finally, for the spells, you want to go for your Flash as well as your Exhaust, because Draven is a very 1v1 kill focused champion, so Exhaust is going to be the way to go. But with all that said, let's jump into our gameplay. Okay, so now jumping straight into the video. Now it's kind of similar to yesterday's one, so we're kind of gonna be just explaining Draven all over again. So if you guys have watched the video yesterday, it could be a little bit repetitive maybe, but honestly it's the same champion, so not too much has changed, and only one item really has changed. The entire rest of the build is the same, the entire runes are the same, summoner spells are the same, everything is the same. It's the same champion, so there's really not a lot different that I can say. So let's just go straight into talking about the matchup. So here we're Draven Nami, and we're against an Alistar Ezreal. So Alistar level 1 is really weak because he can only take either Hitbutt or Pulverize. So if he has Pulverize, if you never go near him, he literally can't do anything. If he has Hitbutt, all he can really do is just push you away. So generally you want to bully Alistar lanes level 1. Also, like that. Also, Ezreal is actually pretty strong level 1 because Ezreal can proc Kraken Slayer at level 1 very quickly with like a auto Q auto. He can actually proc Kraken Slayer faster than Draven. So if you guys get into a short trade and Draven doesn't manage to proc Kraken Slayer but Ezreal does, Ezreal will actually win the trade. So I've actually gotten killed level 1 as a Draven against Ezreal before, which really shocked me, and I only upon like analysis that I realized how this happened. And yeah, but anyways, now we hit level 2 and so did they. So now we have to watch out for Alistar's combo. But the good news here is that if Alistar combos you, generally if you're in the minions, it's really hard for Ezreal to follow up. So anyways, here you can see Xin Zhao comes in for a very beautiful lane gank. Alistar gets impatient, goes in and falls into the trap of the Xin Zhao. Really well played by the Xin Zhao here. I have to say, not many junglers go for these kind of lane ganks where they see us stacking a huge wave and they are just in that bush just covering after he cleared his red side, so that if Alistar goes in, which he exactly did that, because most people in Wild Rift are really impatient. Like, just think about what Alistar should be doing here, because Ezreal doesn't really want to fight us, so what he really should be doing here the whole laning phase is pretty much just doing nothing much except walk around. But Wild Rift people, they can't just sit around and twiddle their thumbs. They have to go in. So he's gonna get impatient. He's gonna go in, and he's gonna get punished exactly like what he just did. If Xin Zhao wasn't there, he probably still would just take a huge chunk. He probably wouldn't die because he was like right at his tower, but he would still take a huge chunk, and it still would have been pretty good of a situation for us. So in any case, just going in for Elsa is bad. So here he goes in again. Nami is getting focused down. So here I was initially running to Ezreal to focus him, but then I realized that Alistar is just so much easier of a target. So here Ezreal nearly dies, and here we end up going down to the gank of the Riven, and so does Nami. We tried to trade onto Ezreal. I mean, we saw a Riven coming in, we tried to trade onto Ezreal, and just didn't really work out. Now in hindsight, you guys saw that I was going walking up to go for the Ezreal. Now I'm not sure if maybe I should have just walked back and went for Alistar instead of just walking forward and going for Alistar, because walking forward basically allowed Ezreal to land all of his spells on me and allowed me to take a lot of free damage. So maybe I shouldn't have walked up and attacked Ezreal. I could have either walked up and attacked Ezreal or walked back and attacked Alistar. So I had to choose one or the other. So kind of a mistake there on my part. But here we're still in a good spot because we did get the cash in. Here Riven tries to come in. We try to disrupt her. She comes in with a 3-man stun. Xin Zhao is here for the counter gank, but Riven ends up falling prey to all 3 of us, and now Alistar and Ezreal are the next targets. 2 huge cash-ins for me here. Xin Zhao grabs a kill for himself. Actually, he doesn't. Nami gets the other kill, which is pretty unfortunate. But basically, really good counter gank by Xin Zhao. Love the jungler I have in this game. He knows what's up. We are definitely the winning lane in this situation. So he just comes down here again, protects us from the gank from the Riven, and we're in a beautiful spot. So here we pretty much we got another huge cash in, we got another kill, and we also got pretty much all of the tower plates except the final one. So here we are pushing out the wave. We're really close to Duskblade, which is the main reason why we're sticking around. Now that we got that wave, we have Duskblade, and Duskblade, huge power spike, especially when you're snowballing, because one auto attack can do a huge amount of damage. Sometimes in the early game you can even get like half health gone from like one auto attack with the Duskblade passive. So really huge pickup here. The objectives are going to be spawning soon. It appears that Xin Zhao's probably going to go for Herald because he is at the top side now, and Herald of course is the better objective. In the meanwhile, the Alistar and the Ezreal are going towards the dragon. Now we are really strong, so we are just gonna go ahead and face check. We can probably 2v3 as well. He goes in for the combo. We exhaust the Ezreal instantly. We're just focusing the Ezreal. We get the Ezreal down. Now we're just focusing Alistar because no one else really to focus here. Riven comes in. We disrupt her combo twice, both me and Nami, and now she's 1 HP. So I'm gonna just flash forward, finish her off. Now I'm 1 HP. I'm probably gonna die. But just look at the insane damage from the Duskblade, and somehow we actually survive and kill the Alistar instead. We pick up a triple kill somehow, and yeah. So honestly, what happened there is the Duskblade reset. Now, in case you guys didn't know, the Duskblade auto attack, the enhanced auto attack from Duskblade resets upon takedown. So when we got the takedown, we actually reset our Duskblade, and this actually allowed us to get the extra damage on Orianna. And you can see we basically 2-shot Orianna with like 2 auto attacks. I think at 3 at most, but I think it was like 2 auto attacks. We just 2-shot her, and she just instantly just goes down, which is completely insane amounts of damage. So with that triple kill out of nowhere, like within like 5 minutes of the game, we're like 7-1 and 2. So we're insanely fed out of our mind. Yeah, not too much to say about that. So honestly, at this point, I'm not going to say that the game is won, but at this point, you are definitely in a position where it is your job to carry the game, and if, things go sideways, it's probably going to be on you, messing up somewhere and dying or something like that. So, here you can see we basically one-shot the minions at this point. So obviously we can see Alistar coming down. We just wanted to push out the wave, and we are going to be able to get a reset after that to complete our Bloodthirster. So 2 full items for us, at this point. And Ezreal, not even his mana immune completed at this point. Alright, there we go, his mana immune finally completed. But you can see the huge goal discrepancy between him and I. And my whole team is just doing well in general, by the way, because Xin Zhao, he's been ganking like a mad lad. He's doing really well. Mundo is 2-0. He's doing really well as well. Yasuo maybe a little bit to be desired. He's 0-2 at the moment. Comes all the way down here, speaking of the devil, just to apparently try to steal our minion wave. Yeah. So, and then he just lets the mid minion wave crash into the tower, and the minions are all dying to the tower. So yeah, and he goes into the enemy jungle for no real reason. There's nothing to counter jungle, and you know we didn't have enough information when he went in there. Anyway, now that we can actually see 3 enemies at top, so I mean now it's actually a good play to go and counter jungle the enemy, but not when he did it. So anyways, we know 3 people are at the top lane, so we know at most it's just Alistar and who's the other person who's not up there? Isn't Orianna? No, Orianna's actually at mid now, so it's just Alistar here to defend by himself actually, because 2 people are top and 2 people are mid. So here he goes in for a combo on Nami for really no reason, because obviously no one can do anything, no one is here to follow up. He ends up taking a huge chunk of damage. I ult him and he actually nearly dies. He flashes away to save his life, but now we're gonna focus the tower instead. Tank, you know, I had to tank like 2 tower shots to finish off the tower, but we do get the tier 2 tower. Alistar a little bit too tanky there with the ulti. Alistar ulti honestly is really OP. Like even no matter how fed I am, I don't do enough damage to him when he's in his ulti, but I nearly actually end up killing him. So that's pretty good. So here in this match, you can see that my team is kind of a full AD team, which is kind of the main reason why I'm going for slow recharge. But you can see that we have like Mundo's AD, you know, Yasuo, Xin Zhao, they're all AD. Nami does have a little bit of AP damage, of course, especially when she buffs me with her E. But of course she is mainly the support, she's not a major damage dealer, so getting the extra AP damage on the charge blade becomes really important in this particular match. That in yesterday's video it wasn't so important because we already had AP, but in this one we really need you know, some AP on our team. Of course the enemy team is not really the tankiest, but they do have an Alistar who's definitely going to be stacking armor, and Riven can go for some armor as well. In fact, Yone has already gone for the smart counter build, which is going for the going for the plated steel caps as his boot item. Really good itemization by the Yone. But yeah, so we are going to try to resolve, not, I won't say resolve, that's a little bit of an exaggeration. We're going to try to you know, better the situation by going for some kind of AP, so we at least do some kind of AP damage to increase our damage output, make it a little bit more of a mixed profile. But here we're just clearing the wave. You can see multiple enemies in the top lane. Orianna's here. I'm trying to catch up to her, but you know, it's not really working out. You know, we can't really catch her. So we're gonna just have to clear the mini wave. In fact, she does a lot of damage. Like, if you guys notice, on Orianna's team, she's actually the most fed, and she actually is gonna be doing the most damage. And she hasn't really even scaled yet. She only has like an Archangel's staff. So later on in this game, Orianna kind of becomes the biggest problem, because she, you know, scales really well, and she is really out of our range majority of the time. So she's just pelting us with like the balls, the command, attack, and the W. Forgot what the W is called. I think it's like dissonance or something like that. But you know, she's gonna hit us with all of those spells, and we can't do too much about it because we are not really in range to attack her unless she gets CC'd or mispositions or something like that. But here it's kind of funny. No one really gets the dragon. Xin Zhao has to walk back to finish off the dragon. Here we're trying to go for the Alistar in the choke point, or whoever else, you know, we can really hit in the choke point, because we're getting baited in by the dragon. Thankfully Xin Zhao does secure it. Yone actually tries to come in for a steal, which nearly happened because all of us just tried to give each other the last hit on dragon, and no one actually ended up last hitting it. Now here, Xin Zhao and Nami both just recalled right in front of the enemy's faces. I cancel my recall because I don't feel safe recalling there. I'm surprised the enemy team did not actually stop them from recalling, and they actually completed the recall, so I end up recalling later. So now I'm a little bit late on the map. A huge fight is breaking out in the top lane. Mundo goes down. Yasuo's the next target. I'm trying to make my way there to see if I can actually help the situation, but it's a little bit of an odd-numbered fight, so we want to be a little bit careful about this. Alistar, no ulti this time. He goes down. Trying to see if we can get a chase here. I try to flash forward for the Ezreal. Ezreal pops the heal, pops the blast plant. Nearly dies, but doesn't. Now here I'm really trying to get a cash in. I finally get a cash in of like 550 gold. I can see now we can't really chase Orianna. That's kind of a problem. Xin Zhao tries to assassinate her, but doesn't quite do enough damage. So yeah. I mean, we've been 7-1 for a very long time, so we had so many League of Draven stacks, you know, at that point, and I was like really desperate to get a kill before, you know, we lose the stacks if we die by accident. So we had huge cash in there. Like yeah, that was really a huge cash in. 550 gold is like, you know, 1.5 kills worth of a cash in. So now we got even more gold in our pocket, not 12k. gold. It's completely insane. Or 5k gold ahead of the Ezreal, or 4k gold ahead of the Ezreal, sorry. And here we're gonna start off Baron. So honestly, we're so strong. We're just gonna do Baron. Yasuo's kind of zoning off the enemy team. Ezreal's on the wrong side of the map. Nami also comes in for the zoning, and yeah. So we're just gonna get the Baron. We're just gonna reset. Enemy team gets a bounty on our bot lane turret in trade for the Baron. And here at this point, we're just going for pure items. We haven't really even gotten our enchant yet, but we're probably just gonna go for a stasis. You know, a little bit later on when, you know, we need an extra level of safety, which you could argue is like now as well. But yeah, we're just going into more and more damage. Obviously, Draven is the kind of champion you want to snowball with and you want to end the game quickly with. Now it's like 12 minutes into the game, and you know, by mid and late game, he's gonna start falling off in a sense that other people are gonna scale up, and you're not gonna do as much damage in comparison. So you want to definitely go for, you know, fast games if you know you can. But obviously, in like Wilder, there's rarely ever a fast game. Like even when you have a super fed Draven, like you normally make it at least to the Elder Dragon. So most games are at least like 18-20 minutes, things like that. Now here it's kind of funny because you know, Orianna and Alistar are roaming on the Mundo, and we're roaming on them. So it's kind of just like everyone's just, you know, I don't know what's going on here honestly. Attacking the ward to keep up my axe stacks, because they will fall off if you don't auto attack anything. Alistar goes in. Yone goes in as well. Try to finish off the Yone. Yone survives on 1 HP. Riven goes deep in the backline. I kill her, another shutdown, 300 plus gold. Now I'm trying to run down, you know, whoever else is left basically. I flash forward, try to get, you know, the 2 carries, but the 2 carries are still relatively safe. And we have the Baron buff. We're going to quickly take down this tower. And, you know, despite the fact that they're still alive, we are probably going to still be able to get, you know, at least this tower. So Orianna, you can see, chunks me like half health. I don't have any minions or whatnot to attack to regain health. There we go. Some minions over there to try to regain health, but I'm getting poked down by Orianna again. So the best course of action here is to back off, because Orianna, Ezreal, they have a lot of range, so they can easily just poke us down where we can't really reach them, which is, you know, not really the best situation to be in. So we're just going to back off. I'm just going to push in the mid wave here. Baron buff has run out at this point, so we are just going to reset and prepare for a Dragon. Dragon's coming up in 20 seconds, and that's going to be soul for my team, although that's only like mountain soul, which is the least valuable soul, but you know, it's better than giving the enemy team a free dragon. So here I'm pinging for dragon, and here I'm going to start off the red buff. I do want the Xin Zhao to get it, so I am just holding the buff here. I'm not auto attacking because I'm afraid that, you know, my one auto attack can do more than 1,000 damage, so that wouldn't be good. Especially because Xin Zhao, you know, he's been helping us the whole game. He's been a pretty good jungler. No reason to steal buff from him. No reason to steal buff from a bad jungler even, honestly. Except out of spite, I guess. So here the enemy team comes into contest. I'm free hitting onto Alistar, who's not actually taking any damage. I nearly get one shot by Orianna's combo. She is death cap now, and I end up dying to Ezreal's ultimate. So Ezreal gets a huge shutdown, and situation is not looking good for us because, you know, I'm kind of the main carry of my team, and I died. So now Mundo is really tanky. He's tanking it up, but he can't really kill anybody. Xin Zhao ends up getting caught. He goes down. Draven goes down to Mundo though, so it's a trade of the junglers. Nami now goes down, and you can see Mundo is doing a lot of damage because he does have Heartsteel, and he has Mantle as well as a Twin Guard, so he's really tanky. But the thing is that he doesn't have Titanic Hydra, so he doesn't really do as much damage. So you can see eventually, even though he tanks it up for days, he does eventually end up going down because he is, he is really tanky, but he doesn't do enough damage. However, the important part here is that he delayed so much time that the enemy team, even though they technically traded like, did they ace us? I think they did ace us. They aced us, but they couldn't even get Baron because the death timers are so desynced between me and my team that they can't really even go for Baron. So there is that. So overall, really good job by Mundo to kind of, you know, delay the enemy team by long enough that, you know, they aren't able to actually pick up Baron, so they don't really get anything really that meaningful off of killing all of us, aside of course from the shutdowns, things like that. But they don't actually manage to get Baron, which I think is what would have really turned the game, like if they actually got Baron here. Here I was trying to maintain my stacks. Xin Zhao gets the wrong idea and just starts off the Baron. I don't really think starting off the Baron right here is a very good idea because you know, we don't have Mundo with us, and the enemy team is all here. Yasuo's also not with us, although he's not the most useful. He does have like 3 full items now, so he should be doing some kind of damage. Now 2 people are actually chasing Mundo down, so we have 2 options here. Either we can help Mundo, or we can try to go for Baron while they're chasing him down. So initially we start going for Baron, but it's not quite working out, so instead we're going to try to help him out. Alistar gets tagged by the Nami ulti, and again I'm focusing Alistar, but he's not really taking too much damage, so I'm just kind of hitting, you know, whoever I can. Yone jumps in for some reason, pops the stasis. He's already dead, so I'm just going to ignore him. I'm just going to walk up, see who else I can get, which is really no one. And it's 2 carries and Riven left alive. So now, of course we're going to go for Baron now, because we just eliminated 2 people from the enemy team. Of course the Riven is still alive, so we do need to be cautious to not let her near the pit or in the pit, lest we end up falling victim to a steal. So you can see here Yasuo is zoning them off again. I'm not sure how successful he's going to be at that though. Everyone actually goes in onto the Riven. Riven just ends up dying, and I'm going to have to finish off the Baron here because Xin Zhao is on the wrong side of the wall. So here I'm going to finish off the Baron. Elder Dragon has already spawned, so next course of action is to just go ahead and grab ourselves the Elder Dragon. Of course, now the enemy jungle is dead, and Yone and Alistar are just now respawning, so we can probably just finish the Elder Dragon quickly and just grab that. Of course, also helps to have insane damage on objectives as Draven. Your auto attacks hit so hard, you can see we're melting the objective. And Xin Zhao smites early again, but we do secure the Elder Dragon. Thankfully, all these objectives aren't really being heavily contested because the Xin Zhao smites haven't been the best, although he hasn't been playing very well, but his smites have not been the best. Anyways, here, with this, we should be able to just walk it down mid and just end the game here. Not too much the enemy team can do against, you know, double buffs. We basically got the Exodia here, we got Dragon Soul, we got Baron, we got Elder, and there's really nothing any team can do at this point. Here we're just getting some free damage, free DPS, and maybe some free kills if, you know, the enemy team steps up. We get hit by Orianna, which somehow does less damage now than just now. I'm not sure what's going on here, but we finally get the satisfying kill on the Orianna, and with that, we flash forward, try to get even more kills, and not really, so we end up ending the game instead. So, I'll leave you guys with the stats as usual. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and goodbye.